Minister, in response to several carloads of Metropolitan Police entering the building that houses the Ecuadorian embassy in the middle of the night, London time, cordoning off the street, threatening to break the door down and threatening to rezone the embassy, have you or the High Commissioner in London made representations to the United Kingdom to not violate the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations by entering the premises of the Ecuadorian embassy without the consent of the head of mission? Foreign Minister, I'm just interested to know whether, if any, we've made representations to the British government in this regard.
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Senator Bob Carr.
Mr. President, Australia, of course, is not a party to this decision. It is a matter between Mr. Assange and the governments of Ecuador and the United Kingdom. And the court case that led to this affair arising in this fashion, of course, is between Mr. Assange and the government of Sweden. I am advised that Mr. Assange remains in the Ecuadorian embassy, where he's been since mid-June. This morning, the Ecuadorian Foreign Minister did announce a decision would be made on his asylum claim at 10 p.m. tonight, Australian Eastern Standard Time. The outcome of Mr. Assange's asylum claim, of course, is a matter for the Ecuadorian and the United Kingdom governments. The Australian government cannot intervene in the UK legal process. We have no standing in the British courts, but the government does not take up the case.
Senator Bob Carr, just resume your seat. Senator Ludlam has got to his feet.
President, thank you. My point of order is on a matter of relevance. I appreciate the Minister's reading from a prepared brief, but it's not a brief for the question that I asked. The question I asked was whether we've made representations to the British government on the occupation of the embassy building by Metropolitan Police. That's a yes or a no question, Minister.
There's no point of order. The Minister is answering the question, and the Minister has 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. The Minister.
Mr. President, the Senator's question is based on the assumption the building has been occupied by Metropolitan Police. I haven't been advised of that. To date, there have been, I might say to the Senate, to date there have been 62 representations made by the Australian government about consular contact with Mr. Assange or his legal representatives since legal proceedings commenced in 2010. Now, according to advice I've got from the department, no Australian has received more attention in a comparable space of time in terms of consular representation than Mr. Assange. This includes representations on his behalf to the government of the United Kingdom and the government of Sweden to obtain assurances of due process in current and future legal proceedings. But I don't think it'd be of the remotest interest to Henry Kissinger. It also includes.
Time has expired, Senator. Order. Senator Ludlam is entitled to be heard in silence on both sides. Senator Ludlam.
Thanks, President. Minister, I'm going to take it that your answer to my actual question is no. Representations weren't made, and if you feel like you need to correct the record, then please do. My supplementary is because the embassy is being interfered with, Senator Evans. Minister, despite the attempts to obviously threaten and intimidate by the UK government, will the Australian government respect the decision by...
Order. On both sides. I need order, so on both sides. On both sides. Just wait, Senator Ludlam. I will give you the call when there's silence. You're entitled to be heard in silence. Order. Senator Ludlam.
Thank you, President. Will the Australian government respect the decision by Ecuadorian authorities at 10 p.m. tonight if they grant asylum to Australian citizen Julian Assange?
The Minister.
Mr. President, the question of whether the Ecuadorian government grants Mr. Assange asylum is a matter for them. It's a matter for them. We'll seek information on it, but we won't make representations to them one way or the other. It's not a matter for us. It's a matter between the asylum seeker and the government of Ecuador. We have no status in the UK court system, and we don't intervene in courts where Australian citizens outside the country are engaged in any case. But I can tell the Senator that we made representation as the government of Sweden, seeking assurances that were they to succeed in their extradition of Mr Assange, that he would be treated according to due process. He'd be treated, in other words, as any citizen of Sweden would be treated, and they gave us that assurance. In other words, if he came to be detained in that country, he'd have access to his lawyers and to his family.
Time has expired. Senator Ludlam.
Thank you, President. I thank the Minister for his answer. My second supplementary question. Can the Minister tell the Senate what the government will do beyond providing basic consular assistance to protect Mr Assange if there is evidence that he has been subjected to political persecution by the United States government or its allies? And if so, can the Minister describe how this intervention would differ from basic consular assistance?
Minister.
Well, Mr President, first might I say that that's entirely hypothetical. There is no evidence of interest in him from the United States government. If there were extradition sought of Mr Assange on a charge to which capital punishment would apply, we would oppose it. We'd oppose it on principle. We'd oppose it strongly. We've no evidence, however, that the United States is seeking to extradite him, and in any case, over the last 2 years, they had every opportunity to seek his extradition from the United Kingdom, with which the US has a robust extradition arrangement, and about which they've probably got more ease in seeking extradition than they would have were he in Sweden. But they haven't sought it. In 2 years, they haven't sought it. And it would be easier for them to seek extradition of him from the United Kingdom than it would be from Sweden. Any application for Mr Assange's extradition from Sweden would be a matter between the countries.
Senator Bob Carr. Senator Humphries.
Mr President, thank you. My question is to the Minister representing the Minister for Climate Change and Energy Efficiency, Senator Wong. Is the Minister aware of recent analysis conducted by the National Centre for Social and Economic Modelling at the University of Canberra,